Hey, guess what? I'm finally doing this one. You know who you are. You're gonna have to change your Discord handle now. I've wanted this figure for a very long time, ever since Vangelis reviewed it, even before getting back into collecting. Not sure why, it's not like Mirage is one of my favorite characters in the Transformers or anything, it just seemed really cool. Then I got it long after starting YouTube, and now I've had it forever. Literally got this in the fall of last year. Always intended to do a review of it. I guess that just goes to show how off track I can get only doing 3 videos a week. I'd do more if it was physically possible, but I'm not willing to compromise on quality, so every video takes me like 20 hours or more to make. Before starting, we got a little over a week before the 2-year anniversary of the channel. I'm trying to get as close to 9K before then. So if you enjoyed this video by the end, please consider subscribing. Your likes! Please give. Anyways, it's MMC G1 Mirage. I don't even know why I specify. It's not like IDW Mirage is that different. Anyways, starting off in alt mode this time because this is how it comes shipped, and it gives me an opportunity to say something about MMC. I've always appreciated how much MMC respects our space. They always ship their figures in the smallest modes possible in packaging that's only as big as it has to be. Sure, this doesn't make for a cool giant display or anything, but it's nice and easy to keep around. I mean, look at how small this box is. It's barely bigger than an Acid Rain one, a figure that's less than 1/3 its size. It's such a minor thing, but so many figures out there come in boxes 5 times bigger than the toy itself. I could fit 100 times the number of collector's boxes I have if they were all this size, and I wouldn't have to consider throwing away a bunch of them every 6 months or so. It's a good looking box too. The artwork is really tasteful, though I don't like the font that's supposed to look like Japanese text. It's borderline unreadable like this despite being in English. I love how the back of the box mimics the opening of the cartoon, but I never quite understood text specs. Like, why do I need a decoder strip for this? I can already just read it. I guess maybe if I was colorblind, this would be more of a problem. So yeah, it's a good box, but I know you don't care. So onto the figure. I'm sure some turbo nerd out there is going to have a field day with complaints about how this isn't one-to-one IRL or screen accurate. But I'll be honest, even looking at pictures from G1, I still find it hard to tell any differences. And when I'm not, I can't think of anything wrong. But you know, there's just someone out there who knows exactly what model car this is, and who in particular drove this exact one, and how many races it won, and they'll complain about literally anything that isn't neurotically accurate to the thing that they care way too much about. I'm glad that I never have people like that in my comment section. Only in my videos. Honestly, I just hear tale of them. Anyways, as my disdainful monologue just laid out, I think that this thing is almost perfect looking. I can't tell any differences between how this is supposed to look and what it actually looks like. It's got every feature you could want, including a driver who was ripped in half by some horrible abomination that I seem to have lost. It's a fun idea, but also an annoyance that always fell out during transformation, and I'm happier without it. This is a really fully featured alt mode, with a rotating wheel, actuating tires on a specifically designed mechanism that allows them to turn together, and nice rubber racing tires. This thing rolls as smooth as butter. If you can transform this thing so nothing's dragging on the ground, it glides so easily I can put my finger inside the wheel rim, apply almost no pressure, and have this thing roll gently to any destination I nudge it to. Though it does bug me a little how the front wheels always look like they're pointing the wrong way. Anyways, this is an absolutely excellent alt mode. It's almost perfect. I don't have any serious complaints about this. And transformation is also almost excellent. Every idea here is smart and clever, and some of it works supremely well. Problem is, certain aspects of this are incredibly frustrating. Not because they're so complex, but because they just won't work with you. Like this back section that you have to split open. The tolerances here are insanely tight. And the problem is that you have to press 2 connected objects on a swiveling circular path away from each other at the same time. On paper, sounds easy. In practice, it is so fucking irritating that you will want to rip your hair out. And stuff like untabbing the head takes too much force. Moving the arms on these tracks takes too much force. Untabbing the sides takes too much force. And with all the relatively thin plastic, you feel like you're going to break something. And to top it all off, there's parts forming with Mirage's shoulder rocket, which is a piece that you just have to leave off to the side when in alt mode, as it can't store anywhere. This is all so almost good. Every one of those steps would be really cool if they just didn't fight you. And every now and then they do just work, and it's great when it does. But that is too rare. But the end result is absolutely amazing. I know apparently the TE figure is supposedly more accurate, but I can't see how. This is an astonishingly good and stylish Mirage. I have at most 2 complaints, and that's that 1, his groin section looks a little messy, and 2, he's wearing some lame-ass bell-bottoms. The worst piece of fashion humanity has ever devised. But obviously that's not an objective flaw with the quality of the figure, just an objective flaw with taste. It's pretty cool how this thing seemingly has giant wheels for heels, yet has no trouble standing thanks to some secretly concealed spurs to keep him off those potential hazards to holding him upright. I think I just channeled my inner Thew. Must be because this review is so positive. I have one other complaint, and that is that his head sits up strangely. It feels just so barely disconnected from his shoulders, but otherwise I've got nothing but positives to say. I love how the engine splits in half to give him some superpowered kneecaps. I love how the wrists have these semi-automatic covers. I love how there are no faux parts, despite the fact that a lot of Mirages indulge in that for some reason. It can't be because it's hard to design, because what this thing does to get everything where it needs to go isn't that complex. It all just needs to be toleranced better. I don't know why they went to the effort, but they painted the sides of his crotch white, and that's a little strange when almost nothing else on this guy got any paint. Really, it's just his kneecaps, toes, the designs on his collarbone, and the Satane's logos on his shoulders and legs. Though, I suppose here it's more Sita Sita Nes Nes, or maybe Sitaeatic Sines. I don't even know what I'm going on about. This is what happens when I don't have enough to complain about. I get weird. Anyways, this is why I'm always on about how I don't care for paint. This guy looks excellent, and he barely has any. Hell, I don't even know if any of this silver stuff is actually paint, or if it's just really shiny plastic. Because if it is, then they coated every millimeter of them in the stuff, and it didn't fuck with the tolerances at all. And these parts all rub up against each other enough that at some point, some of it should have come off if it was. This figure also feels great, and I'm not talking about the heft, because that's fake with some die-cast parts. Just because it's heavy doesn't mean that it's good. Metal adds weight for the sake of weight. 99% of this thing may be the most brittle, chintzy bullshit imaginable, so weight means nothing when metal is involved. No, what I'm talking about is that while the tolerances of the transformation were too tight, here they are quite nice. Everything will only move when you move it. And it doesn't even have any ratchets. So take that, every other reviewer ever! Metal nor ratchets makes a figure good. The figure being good makes the figure good. I'm sorry, I'm just so sick of hearing, ratchet's good. No, ratchet's good if they are used good. Just having them in the figure doesn't make the figure better because they're there. And they aren't necessary for a good figure. Anyways, the robot mode is fantastic, and so is the head sculpt. It feels a little off, not in terms of the face, but in the sides of the head, due to how this transforms to meet up with a car. It's fairly unusual for a head to have kibble. It's ignorable, especially from a distance, but it's just so barely off, like 1 to 2%. Yet I still managed to find it mildly infuriating. I just think it kinda gives his head the vague shape of a penis, and I can't say that I'm a fan of that. The face and shape are on point, looking so perfect it kinda breaks my heart that it's just screwed up by the silhouette. If only they found a way for that part to transform. Or even at worst, if it came with a separate parts-forming head that you could swap out to not suffer this frustration. It's still great, it's just, OCD man problems. So yeah, this figure looks excellent in robot mode, and it's built incredibly well. It's super accurate to the character. I really don't know what more we can ask in terms of robot mode, aside from the head a bit. Same goes for the accessories. He comes with a gun, which I lost. Sue me, it's been a year since I got this thing, and it has no weapon storage in vehicle mode, which is what I kept it in most of the time. It's a miracle I was able to find the missile launcher. This is relatively what that would have looked like if I could have found it. He comes with his shoulder launcher, the missile is a separate piece that you can have fire, and it's all sculpted well. It's blast effect compatible, so that's pretty sick, giving this some real firing action. And it also means that you can do this stupid shit with a siege gun. I don't think this came with an extra head, if I'm remembering correctly at least. If it did, I lost that too. Lastly, he comes with his parachute. This is an incredibly cool, niche little thing that's extremely well made. Normally, I'd think I'd see something like this come with an XTB figure, because they are the kings of accessories. I'm happy that at least one version of this figure comes with this. It's made out of metal wire too, this thing is nice. Anyways, articulation on this is what we have come to expect from MMC. They are the best in the business at this. Rocket Launcher interferes with the head a bit, but once that's out of the way, you've got one of the most articulated heads ever. With the best action of all time, shoulders pull almost a 180, good forwards butterfly, minor backwards one, elbows that go almost maximum, hands rotate, open and close, and have sword-wielding wrists, minor ab crunch that you can untransform for more, hips are unimpeded forwards, minorly out to the side and back, extreme knee bend, and feet with an extreme rocker and a very advanced toe. Yep, this is an MMC figure alright, shaming every other brand out there. And hilariously, this isn't even some of their best work. But that's not to say that this figure isn't amazing. This figure is absolutely stunning. The only thing holding it back is the transformation, which could have been awesome, but unfortunately was let down by its tolerances. Everything about that process is good, except for how much it's willing to work with you. Both modes are top tier. I can't think of any more accessories it should come with outside of maybe a large clear rectangle and a completely clear second copy of the figure. It poses better than most any figure you've ever handled unless you've handled other MMC stuff before, and this thing is $100, on TF Source no less, and they love gouging their prices over there. This is why MMC is the best third-party company. Their figures are the best at literally everything, and they are never trying to rip you off. If you want this, go for it. It's absolutely worth the price tag. And before we go, it's time for the monthly shoutouts. If you'd like a shoutout yourself, please follow the instructions on screen right now. First up, Hannenberg TFCSR. Man, that acronym is hard to keep straight. Would like you to check out their eclectic channel. I warned you all what happens when I have to try and figure out what the core theme of the channel is myself. 45 Designs would like you to check out their channel where they talk about and show you how to 3D print stuff, as well as how to finish it and make it as nice as possible. They have a criminally low number of subs, so check them out. Tell them Perspective End sent you. Nick Infernus is making videos where he discusses comic books, movies, shows, and Transformers. Someone who wants to remain anonymous would like you to check out their Twitter, which I think might defeat the purpose. But it's Ernest Out of Context, where they post clips of Ernest P. Worrell. He'd also like to try and get you to read the manga Berserk. It's famous for a reason. MCP 3050 is making pretty awesome photos of toys, and his birthday was on the 28th. So, happy birthday, dude, and check out their social media. Simon Ancio is back once again, and this time he wants me to shout out the LEGO Group. I have no idea what the LEGO Group is. Scott at Alcohol and Anime Night wants you to check out their latest video, where they make fun of Aniplex, review Luna Varga, a dinosaur anime, drink alcohol, and play with Beast Wars Megatron. That's quite a party night. Shockwave's production does Transformers stop motions once a week. They're trying to get to 100 subs, so let's help them get there. The Cooking Collective is back once again, and they'd like you this time to check out their Zazzle store page, as well as their Reddit, ArtPal, Twitter, GameJolt, and Wattpad. They would also like you to, if you can, please donate to this GoFundMe for Sci-Fix3's father's medical bills, as he battles stage 4 cancer. Any bit helps. Last time I did something like this, you guys actually wowed me with the generous donations you gave. Lastly, S&W Productions' birthday is on the 17th of August, so I know I'm a little early, but happy birthday, dude. And he'd like you to check out his Instagram where he takes photos of the Transformers. And that's not half of what I have to say, but it's enough what I have to say. And I know you know what everyone else tells you to do at the end of these videos. So, if you liked what you saw here, please do that. And if you'd like to take it a step further, then please share this video with any friend you think may be interested. I hope you all enjoyed listening to me waste your time.